seconds. That's how long it takes a jet to take off of an aircraft carrier. Coordinating takeoffs and landings in the middle of the ocean takes a crew of sailors to accomplish, as I'm about to find out when I land on the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower. Before I can board, the Navy has to make me an honorary sailor for a day.
Hi, Bonita.
Hi, how are you?
Trying on dress and work uniforms.
We've been wearing this uniform for 200 years, and those buttons represent the 13 original colonies.
The string goes in the back. The string goes in the back.
I see.
Turn around.
Well, we messed up. We
Yeah.
failed here. Am I the first person you ever seen do that?
No, sir.
The uniforms carefully stitched and pressed at Naval Station Norfolk, where Honorary Chief Annell Lewis has worked for
50-some years. That's a lot of sailors.
Once I have the uniform, we head to the airfield, where a Greyhound is waiting for us. The C-2 Greyhound, a cargo plane that will soon be replaced by the Osprey half helicopter, half plane. That means I'll be one of the last to experience a one-of-a-kind landing and takeoff on the aircraft carrier.
Just make sure your goggles aren't twisted at all. Ear parts are gonna go right over your ears.
Can't hear anything. I think that's the goal, right?
As we head over the Atlantic with our float coats and cranials, an air wing of 2,000 sailors aboard Ike are coordinating our landing, each wearing a different color based on their jobs.
They're landing probably about every 15-20 seconds.
4 arresting cables trap aircraft in a 300-foot landing area, as long as the pilot threads the needle with the tailhook. It's a sudden stop, riding backwards in our cod.
Until you're actually on it, it's hard to imagine how big this aircraft really is. 4 acres wide, all the way back down there, more than 1,000 feet of runway.
I'd have a chance to meet many of the pilots of the 70 planes on board.
It is incredible. It is. It's amazing to be able to fly it, such a sophisticated aircraft.
Who, despite the dangers landing on the carrier and flying missions over Iraq and Syria, try to keep things light.
Co-pilot doesn't bail out. It was a good joke.
Meet call sign Dad Jokes.
I recently found out Beethoven's favorite fruit. It was the banana.
Most of the time, it's serious business on board the ship, where they're doing sustainment exercises awaiting their next deployment.
Right now what we have is we have our jet set up on an alert, ready to launch within 5 minutes.
More than half the crew are not connected to the air wing, but the carrier itself, which has its own Starbucks and its own hospital, where they perform emergency surgeries.
We did one yesterday. The guy, he wouldn't have made it to land with that 3-hour delay.
And have even delivered a baby.
It was a surprise to all of us having to bring life on board.
Birthing units aren't for babies. They're sleeping quarters. Sailors have to go through scuttles or tiny hatches to get to them. Most of the carrier is a maze of stairways, hallways, and hatches. In the hangar bay, routine maintenance to complete overhaul of aircraft is taking place.
It's very gratifying to know that I've put my hand on the motor, I put it together, I fixed it, I ran it, and I know it's safe for the squadrons to put in the airplane and for the pod to go flying.
Going flying, my final mission after 24 hours aboard the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower. I leave in the same plane I landed in, with a new respect for sailors and aviators defending our nation. It's not a jet, but thanks to the catapult on the carrier, it takes off like one. 0 to 160, just 2 seconds. Dave DeMarco, Fox 4 News, working for you aboard the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower.